In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to print on sleeves using the Platens that we use at Jumbo DTG, how to do them effectively, fast, and efficiently for print on demand, sample, and bulk orders. So as you can see here, we have a nice, beautiful print on the front of a zipper, over the zip and over the pocket, but it's missing something, and that thing is sleeves. This would add a lot to the design, and you want to offer this to your customers because not a lot of shops can do it. And I'm going to show you how right now. So first, you want to make sure you have a box or a crate or something that can hold one side of the sleeve in when you put the other one on the heat press. Because if not, when you go to press it to flatten the fibers, as you know with DTG, you got to flatten the fibers before you print. The sleeve is going to drag on the ground and get a bunch of dirt and mess on it. So you don't want that. So to prevent that, you put a bin under the heat press and you press one side of the sleeve. To press the sleeves, I see a lot of people doing it where they split it in half to print on the top part. But what we found out is you can achieve the same result if you actually flip it upside down and you split it by looking at the center seam. And what this tells you is where the center is. If you try to do it here, you don't know where the center is, but if you do it here, you have two even halves on the left and right side. So you can place it on the heat press and rest assured that it's going to be pressed in the center of the sleeve, and you're not going to be pressing it one side too far to the left or one side too far to the right. So you can put it either straight or diagonally, depending on the size of the hoodie. I personally like to press it straight so that you don't press the sleeve part in there. Put it straight, make sure both sides are even, and then you heat press. You might have to lower the pressure on your heat press because if it's too high of a pressure, it might not press or it might break your heat press because the sleeve of the hoodie is very thick. It's not like a normal t-shirt or anything. I'm sure you know if you press the front of a hoodie, it's kind of hard to press down. So it's the same thing with the sleeve. So once that first sleeve is done, you can see we have a nice even split between left and right. The center is nice and pressed. And then we're gonna do the other sleeve. Do the same method, split in the middle, straight down the middle, and as you can see here, looks great. And heat presses can, if you're using the one that we use, you can turn the pressure from light to heavy or firm, what is what they call it. So switch it to light for these sleeves, because that's going to allow you to press it a lot easier rather than struggling and potentially damaging your heat press. So just make sure you turn it to light pressure. It doesn't need to be super firm. It just needs to be flat enough that the print can go on it and the fibers are nice and flat for you. And I would say press it for only about 10-15 seconds. You don't really need to press it for a whole minute or 35 seconds. As long as you get it flat like this. See here, we have two even sides, and you can even see the center line straight through both sides of the sleeve. This will also help you determine where you put the sleeve on the platen to make sure it's directly in the center. I'm now going to show you how to print both sides of the sleeves, and follow me to my printers. So now to the fun part. Take the platen off, original platen that you normally use. You're going to rest that on the side. Here, you'll see the lever. This allows the platen to go up and down by swiveling left and right. We're gonna take this off. And under this is the metal tubing that holds the platen stand in place. So we're gonna push that all the way up. If you look below, you'll see opening here. You can actually put your finger in there, push it all the way up till it stops. And then you're gonna tighten the stainless steel screw on the side all the way in to hold it in place. So if you look on the left side of it, you see that screw here. You see I tighten it, it's in place and it's standing still. It's ready to receive the next two pieces. The next two pieces are the metal ring that helps hoist up this black lever in place that allows the platen to be a little bit higher. Because with the normal platens we use, the 16 by 21 inch platens, those tend to sit higher already, so you don't really need it. But for the smaller platens that are a little bit shorter, you need this ring to help stabilize it at the right height. Then you would put the plastic piece back on. Make sure the side that it's facing has these deeper grooves and they go up a level. You can also see it's different. You can tell. You don't want to see these, I don't know what they're called, but you just want to see it should look like this. Because if you put it upside down, the Platen will not work correctly. Then the second piece is the plastic screw. You're gonna put that in here on the right side. And if you look in there, you don't want to over screw it to where the screw is protruding through the metal piece. That's way too much. You want to just make sure it's nice and flush with the side to where you could put your finger in and the screw doesn't jam against your finger. And that's because you want to allow the Platen to go inside without it being stopped by it. The only time you want the screw to stop this Platen is when you have it adjusted at the correct height. And I'm gonna show you that in a second. So we keep our sleeve Platens on the top of our printer like this. We have the two holders in place. These Platens are from customplatens.com. That's where we recommend getting the dual sleeve Platens from, and we have all the links and everything to this in this part of the course as well. So you can find the text version, get the link, and buy the Platen yourself. So this is for the GTX Pro. We simply take it off. It's very easy to switch around. I'm going to show you a faster version, an uncut version, just doing it fully after I go over this for you, just so you can see how quick everything goes. And then we're going to put the side with the skinny metal into the hole that it fits, and the side with the big metal obviously into the big hole. You can look under it to make sure everything's in place, drop it in, and now it's good. Now you can also use the lever to adjust the height. You can see it works. It's going lower when I push it to the right, and then it comes up higher when I push it to the left. With hoodies, typically I recommend going to the center, putting it to the center between left and right, because the hoodies are a little bit thicker, so they need to be a little bit lower down. But for for long sleeves, I recommend putting it all the way up. And if it's still too low, you would push your finger in at the bottom, push it manually up higher, and then lock it in place with the black plastic on the right side of the Platen to make sure it stays in place. And then when you undo that screw, the Platen will drop, because again, this screw on the right side is only to allow the Platen to go higher and stabilize, where the plastic piece at the bottom doesn't really allow you to do that, because it has a maximum height. But if the maximum height is still not high enough and it's giving you like Platen too low, you push the Platen up from the bottom, and then you lock it in place with the screw on the right side so it's nice and stable at a higher position. So for that, we don't need to put it that high, because again, it's a hoodie, so we'll just put it in the center and we'll grab our hoodie over here. So how I like to do hoodies is basically hamburger fold, half fold like this, and tuck the big part under. So now you have two sleeves, left and right. And since it's facing you like this, the right sleeve is always gonna be right on the right side. The left sleeve is always gonna be on the left side, and you don't have to worry about configurations. You accidentally upload the right sleeve on the left side, left sleeve on the right side. You'll never have that, because the hoodie is always facing the orientation that serves the correct sides of each sleeve the best. So right on right, left on left. So we'll start with right sleeve. We split it in half, the same way we did on the heat press, but instead of doing it on the bottom, we're doing it at the top. And you can see our line here falls directly in the groove. And that's why we want to get it in the center, so that it can fall in the groove and be nice and even. Well, first of all, I should have scanned this. So I'm gonna go ahead and scan it right now. And then we're gonna click combine sleeves, and it's automatically going to upload the left and right sleeve. I'm gonna explain how we did this. We actually had this custom programmed into the software that we use, and I'm gonna explain how we do this in the enterprise tier course. If you're already on this plan, you will see this in a further video, a more in-depth video of the software. But we basically got these Platens programmed to be able to have dual sleeves and single sleeves. So if they only had a left sleeve, it would only upload the image on the left side. If they had both sleeves, it would have it on both sides together. And then if they had a right sleeve, it would only send it to the right side. So in this case, they had two sleeves, which is a very popular option for most clothes. You know, you don't really see a lot of clothes where there's like one sleeve. If it's a consistent design, they're gonna most likely have two sleeves. So for this one, it was very important for us to have two sleeves, and as you can see here, they're both adjusted perfectly. And this will happen every single time with the barcode system. You don't have to worry about things being the wrong size, your printer operator uploading the print in the wrong print area and not getting it right. It's always gonna be right every single time with this barcode workflow system and the sleeve automation. So now we're gonna upload the left sleeve and put the bracket on the right sleeve. And by looking at the mock-up here, we can also see how the customer wanted it. So we can see here they kind of wanted it in the center, even between the top of the sleeve and the bottom of the sleeve where the wrist is. So the only job left to do is to get the left sleeve in place. So we get the same bracket, we put it on, and now we just adjust it and make sure that the center is in the center and it's nice and even. We check both sides. We check here most importantly to see if these are the same distance from the top. And then we check here at the back. Here you can see this one is a little bit further than this one. So now we're gonna pull this one further forward to match. And now that they both match there and they both match here, we could see the seam here lines up. Now we can send this through. We're just gonna make sure. Sometimes this will sit on here and it'll kind of float, but that's okay. As long as the platen doesn't move too much. Just make sure you lock it in place with the plastic screw on the side and it should be nice and sturdy. Then I'm bringing it up higher because we got this one pretty flat. Normally when you get it flat with the heat press, it can go to the last level. But if for any reason you're using a thicker hoodie and it doesn't sit down correctly, how nicely and flat this one is, then you would put it in the center. But I think this should be good being on the highest level. But if it gives us an error, we'll just lower it and try it again. We just hit the print button. Now that it's nice and complete, we'll take both sides off, place into our tunnel dryer. We can shake it to drop the bottom so it's flat, and you can place the sleeves over the front print so you don't overheat the front print too much. You shouldn't really cause that much of a problem if this gets heated again because it's already dry. But if you're really conscious about that, then just put the sleeves above it so it will protect it from going through the tunnel dryer again. If you don't have a tunnel dryer for any reason, you can still use a heat press to dry your sleeves. However, it's a little bit more time consuming. You'll have to hold the hoodie up while placing one sleeve at a time. So we're gonna place the first sleeve, dry it, and we're gonna let the other sleeve hang while we wait in the bin, or we can stand there and hold it up. Now, some people do use parchment paper, but for this example, I'm just gonna use the Teflon sheet that's already on the heat press, and this is the dried result. Now I will do the other sleeve, same exact way, place it, and now we don't have to worry about this sleeve because it's already dry. Now, both sleeves are 100% dry and good to ship. So if for any reason you're working with a hoodie or a zip hoodie that has too thick of a sleeve, I'm going to show you how to adjust those and make sure that they go in correctly. Place your things as normal, but sometimes the middle part might puff up because it's overlapping one sleeve over the other. So what we use is aluminum tape. You can actually stick it here on your printer and use it whenever you need to. So in our case, we usually leave it here and grab it if we are facing a problem with a hoodie that has a puff in the middle. Might go in correctly, but the reason you don't want to leave it as puffed up and leave it exposed is because when the head goes back and forth and prints, it's going to end up touching the top of the head and leave ink stains on it. So white ink stains, colored ink stains, you don't want that on the sleeve of your garment. So you protect it with this. Not only does it protect it, but it helps keep it flat going without obstacle being sensed on the platen. So in this case, it was the front. We're going to try again. And now that sleeve is nice and flat and it goes in nicely without a problem. Once it's done printing, peel the tape off. So that sums it up for our sleeve printing tutorial. If you can print successfully on a zip up or a hoodie, you can 100% print on a crew neck or a long sleeve. That's the most difficult item, so I figured I would show that one to you. So again, plus customplatens.com, you can get this dual sleeve platen. It's the fastest and easiest way to print your sleeves because you can do 2 at a time. Every garment comes with 2 sleeves, but I haven't seen a garment that only comes with 1 sleeve. So I highly recommend getting the dual sleeve platen. So in case you have an order that has 2 sleeves at a time, you can knock them out all at once without having to switch sleeves or dry the left or right sleeve first and then come back and have to do it again. You can do it all in one shot, and you can scan to print the sleeve designs straight to the platen at the correct position, correct dimensions every single time using the software that we use here at the shop. For more in-depth technical information regarding the printer software, scan to printing directly to uploading the graphic on the custom platen, I'll be showing this in the enterprise tier course. So if you're already in this course, it's going to be listed somewhere later in this course. If you want to skip to that, you can go ahead and get set up right away. But yeah, that about sums it up for the sleeve platen we use. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching. In this segment, I'm going to be talking about uploading your sleeve prints manually to your printer using Photoshop or any photo editing tool that you have that can open Photoshop files, placing your sleeves in the right position, left or right, dual or single sleeves, and sending them to your printer using your RIP software. This sleeve platen template is included as a downloadable in this section of the course, so feel free to go ahead and download this template. It's very self-explanatory and easy to use. The first thing you want to do is bring in your images. So here we have a right sleeve image that this customer wants to use. We're just going to make sure that we fit it within the guidelines of the rectangle without any part of the design going outside of the black lines. So here we have the right sleeve set up, and then we're going to go ahead and drag in the left sleeve image and just do the same thing on this side. Now that we're happy with our sleeve placement, we'll see this inner platen guidelines layer at the bottom. This essentially is the background and the template square and everything. Just going to go ahead and hide that. And now it will show our image with a transparent background. This template is made for the dual sleeve platen that I recommend from customplatens.com. So if you are using that platen, we made this template just for you. Once you hide that layer, go ahead, click save, then click export as a PNG and save your graphic name. Now that you've saved your new dual sleeve PNG image, you're going to open it up in your RIP software and watch it snap on. Now it's very important that you're using the 16 by 21 inch platen here because that's the size that we made the template on. The reason being is because we needed a platen size that was big enough to cover up to 17 inches or more. But since there's no platens that are 3.5 or 12 by 17 specifically, we had to use a bigger size platen and put the image within that platen. So here we are using the 16 by 21, but it doesn't mean it's going to print exactly 16 by 21. It just means it fits within the image. As you can see, it's nicely lined up here. The blue line of our image is on the gray line of the t-shirt template. So we can tell that this image is nice and centered exactly as is. And this is where our sleeve platen will end up being. So when we go ahead and press print and send it to our printer, these are the results that we end up getting on our sleeve platen. We can see that each side printed perfectly within the guidelines without going out of bounds and printing exactly how we saw it on our computer screen. We can even see the scale of the image here. And in the product photo shoot, we can also see and verify that our sleeve print came out exactly how the customer was expecting. So that sums it up for the manual way of sending your sleeve prints to your machines. Just remember to have your 16 by 21 inch grid selected so it snaps on effortlessly, and you can just go ahead and click print. The only thing you need to do is go to Photoshop, open up the template, drag the sleeves where you want them to be, hide the template, save the image as a PNG, upload them here, watch them snap on, and send them to your printer. This system guarantees a neat print every single time without fail. I hope you learned how to set up your sleeves if you haven't already, and a more efficient way of doing sleeves manually, whether it's for a simple custom sample order or a large bulk order. This will save you a lot of time instead of printing sleeves one by one. The dual sleeve plan is a must-have for print shops of all sizes. If you feel like there's anything I missed, as always, feel free to schedule or book a call with us. I look forward to speaking with you and helping you continue to grow your DTG business. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.